And welcome, everyone. This is Shadow Allfox coming to you with a lot of. I wish I knew these before I fought Augur, Everdark Augur, or Maris as he will be called. So, several things to note about this boss fight. First off, the first phase of the boss fight will be just fighting Augur. Now, this isn't like you're fighting him at the end of the third night. This is like you're fighting him during his when he raid you in the during the first couple of days. He doesn't summon, as far as I know, he does not summon any enemies to attack you. So no jellyfish, no hangs coming out of the ground. He's just doing the same basic move structure that he used during the raid. So he's flying towards you. He's doing the dive into the ground and cause a big whirlwind effect, small whirlwind effect, and he's just throwing water at you. Fairly easy. This is why you would need your lightning-based weapon to do extra damage and just to end this first phase as quickly as possible. There's not much really that stand out about this other than it feel like you're doing the raid, the Augur raid that happened during the day. I will say, in terms of characters to choose, I think Guardian's going to kind of be the meta for farming this guy. Mainly because if you get a good shield that can block magical damage, you'll probably be just eating all of these hits. At this point, I'm running around with a +2 beginning level shield. And you can see, for the most part, if I go into Guardian's special block mode, it can stop a lot of that damage. And also, since Guardian is the tank of the classes, he got the most HP. Now, this is when things really start kicking off. Once you beat him, you'll be given a legendary version of your starter weapon. It will have a special ability, special armament where you basically can start charging it up, and then you will fire. If you charge it up to the max, it'll fire a horizontal beam that cover almost the whole arena pretty much. If you just fire it off without charging it, it'll shoot these beam attacks at them, smaller beam attacks. Now, his main attacks are bubbles. This is the first tip. I wish I knew that using the armament attack will destroy all of his projectiles. So his bubbles, he has a bunch of beam attacks he starts sending at you towards the second half of this fight, and you can see in the video as I'm throwing out beam attacks out, it's destroying any of the bubble projectile coming my way. And these are very annoying projectiles because even if they don't hit you, they land on the ground and they will explode after a couple of seconds. So we just saw his secondary attack. He take a giant beam, fire it down at the ground, and like so many Sentai characters, cause a big ground attack. Again, Guardians, if you go into Guardian's block, you can possibly just block all of it. I bet you the other build would be an executioner. I bet if you got a good parry timing down, you can probably just tank all of that without taking any damage. But as you can see, you don't even have to directly hit them. It seems like it's very forgiving with those projectiles. Now, just like in the first phase of his original boss fight, Maris will start to curl up in the ball and do his giant sleep attack. The only way to really stop this is to stance break him, just like in the original. And if you don't, just as you saw, you'll fall asleep, and you'll take damage as you're falling asleep. Now, I find the best course of action in terms of attacking him is just to try charge yourself up and do the big horizontal strike. Less likely to miss, and you do more damage that way, and to save your small strikes for his projectiles. And the reason I say save the small strike is if you haven't been paying attention, as you use this ability, you are losing FP. As you charge up this ability, you gain your FP back. And there we saw his last attack, which is he summoned several orbs around him, which you can destroy using your projectile attacks. If you, these orbs will light up, and as they light up, they will shoot beams towards you. Now, I think I may have some footage of doing this. The beams that he fired from those orbs can be deflected with Guardian's ability, his whirlwind ability. And one of the relics I always have on my Guardian is the increased duration of your whirlwind ability. And there we saw his final attack, which is where he summoned a giant tidal wave to come your way, which it doesn't instantly KO you, it just do ongoing damage until you get out of the wave. But just like I didn't do it there, but just like with the bubble attacks, you can use your weapon ability to destroy those beams. There we go. So I'm summoning the whirlwind to give myself some protection as I raise my teammate there. Tidal wave is really hard to deal with though. I haven't found a good way to deal with the tidal wave other than just trying to avoid it. Blocking it, you still takes a lot of damage even blocking it. It do continuous damage. Let's see some other tricks. Well, there you got a good demonstration of the whirlwind ability deflecting the laser abilities. Really, this boss fight is just all attritional at this point. He's gonna spend the whole time flying about. You're not gonna... I don't know if you can do actual physical damage to him, because he's constantly in the air. I haven't seen anyone just run up and start trying to punch him. And I don't know if you can even touch him with physical attacks. Other than that, yeah, this is pretty much... This boss fight is very simple. I see why a lot of people are complaining about it, because it's a range battle and he's constantly running around the map, and normally you would want to bring a range character so you can try to beat it, but that only is going to work for clearing the first phase quickly. The second phase, you're just going to get a legendary version of your weapon and be encouraged to use the abilities. Probably should have saved that. But yes, the biggest tip I can give, that weapon ability is a godsend because it does destroy his projectiles. So really the only things you have to watch out for is the laser beam attack, the ultimate where he goes into sleep mode, and the tidal wave. Those are the only 3 attacks I haven't found good counters on how to negate them or avoid. I mean, tidal wave is pretty big. You can probably avoid it. It's just usually you'll get hit by it because you're trying to save your teammate. As you can see, I'm destroying those projectiles as he's shooting them towards me. The laser beam attack, I would recommend when he shoots the laser beam towards the ground, just hold down the block. You'll take a little damage, but it's better than taking a lot of damage. It'll more than likely break your stance if you're not Guardian or Executioner. But it's better to take a little damage than a lot of damage. This is really the hardest phase, is when he summoned those orbs. You can break them with your ability, but there's a lot going on at this point. He's shooting the lasers at you. Chances are he's summoning a tidal wave to attack you. He's flying towards you, and possibly he's also dropping bubbles on your head at the same time. And I see why people are getting frustrated with this boss, because there's a lot going on. And there's a lot of nuanced mechanics that if you're playing with randos, they may not know if this is their first time doing it. I didn't know you could stop these, that you could destroy these orbs the first time around to stop his projectiles. And if you do destroy all the orbs, it does stance break him. And you can directly target the orbs with your lock on. There you can see I'm currently blocking it with my shield, and it did lessen the damage, but it didn't make it go away. And we're seeing the end of this round right here. And I'll probably throw in some B footage of my first round. And we're back with a little bit more. Just wanted to go over, throw in a couple more things, showing off this is my first attempt at. As you can see that was the previous attempt was my third attempt. You can see a lot of the common mistakes I made when doing my first run. But yes, this first phase, the least amount of damage you can take will be your best bet for doing this. You want to keep all your flasks. I would say coming into this fight with at least 8 flasks is a mandatory because of how long this fight is. I've seen currently a lot of people have been using Raider, and a lot of people have been using Recluse, and I've been using Guardian. I'm wondering, I'm probably going to start switching to Executioner. And if you haven't got it, I haven't cleared this boss either. It's a very tedious boss. And I have a feeling until a lot of people understand the nuances of this Everdark boss, there's going to be a lot of people struggling on this. And I can see why a lot of people hate this boss. He is... Augur, Maris is a very frustrating boss. Let's see, any final tips I can throw? I find that one of the best flasks to have is one that is to get the perk where the flask greatly restore your health and it slowly restore your health over time. Normally, a lot of people don't like that flask. They like the instant heal. I feel on this fight, you got a lot more leeway, and having something that's constantly healing you up is far better than just one giant group heal. Now, as you can see, since this is my first run at this boss, I was testing a bunch of stuff out. So one of the things I was trying to test out was if you could deflect the bubble projectiles with your with Guardian's whirlwind ability. And as I'm quickly learning, it does slightly cause them to veer off course, but they still have a area of effect when they blow up. So yeah, it's better just to use your weapon art to destroy them midair. Here, I'm also learning the lesson that your weapon art do use your FP. And I learned that lesson at the worst possible time. And at this point, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get my FP back. And I think about a couple seconds later, I'm going to realize if I just hold down the charge button for my attack, I slowly start getting my FP back. And here you can see some beautiful example of the whirlwind ability doing its job. I've heard some people just going in with heard rumors of people going in with all Guardian builds to just completely tank everything. I must say, if you're gonna go in with the Guardian ability, I would recommend a relic that has the ability to increase duration of your skill, so that way it'll last longer, deflect more of the beams. There you go, you get you do see some good example of using the Guardian shield ability to negate a lot of that damage of that laser beam strike to the ground. But yes, again, the for those bubbles, the best defense is just spam the light attacks of your weapon or at and just destroy them before they can even touch ground. Don't even worry if they're coming towards you, because again, it's very forgiving. It will destroy those projectiles. You know, don't waste time dodging. This is, I feel that a lot of players like to be aggressive. This is time to be aggressive. Is when you see the projectile come towards you, make sure you have the FP. I don't think it uses up. Oh, it do use up a fair bit of stamina. Make sure you have the stamina and FP, and just spam it if you need to destroy those projectiles. Keep your shield up if you have one, or if you don't have a shield, just block with your weapon. Block with anything you have. Again, I'm learning the lesson the hard way on this first run. And coast, when it start going to sleep, just go to town on it. If you can't, if you don't think you and your team are going to stance break it, drop a warming stone down if you have one. That's the other thing. During your expedition, pick up warming stones. Those are godsends, because normally it's hard to use a warming stone to heal, because the enemies always attack you with melee attacks. You don't get to stand still. Since you're just pretty much spamming projectiles at this point, you can put the warming stone down and you and your teammate can rally around it to just heal up. Another tip I kind of want to give out to everyone: stay together. Everybody likes to space out on this, and I don't know, I think it's mostly just survival at this point. You want to stay together. I don't have the run on here, but I've had runs where we stayed together, and because of that, when one teammate go down, using your weapon ability to res them is super effective. It does a lot of damage to the recovery ring, and and because it does a lot of damage to the recovery ring, you can get them back up faster. So if you have all three players together, one player goes down, one guy can just start spamming a beam attacks at them, while the other character is spamming beam attack at the boss to destroy any projectiles coming your way, so that way you don't get downed again. So yes, don't even bother meleeing. I've seen it's better to just use your weapon projectile from your weapon armament to resurrect yourself. Let's see, what other tips can I give? I think that's pretty much it. Other than that, this fight's just attritional, so it's just gonna take a while. It's kind of like with the sentient pest. I remember people hated the sentient pest at one point because it just took a long time to chip away at it because it ran around the map, and that's what this thing does. Don't even, unless you absolutely need to, don't bother chasing it. Your beam attack cover a huge area of the map. So as you can see, my teammate's using his beam to try and res me. Just stick with your beams. Bring a lot of warming stones. Try collect those during the expedition and save them. They come in handy here. Other than that, maybe if you see any items that give you the any weapons or shields that give you the ability charge up your attacks. Charge attacks does more damage. That'll also be a good something good to use. Other than that, just keep at it, guys. Keep using those beam attacks. Keep blocking. Keep trying. We'll get this eventually. But till then, I'm gonna probably hop back into those and be doing this all night until I till I beat this boss. And if I get a successful run, I'll be sure to post it and give more tips and tricks. Till then, see y'all later.